Today we're checking out this OE Style Aluminum Radiator for chargers that are 2009 to 2017 V6s, 5.7 liter HEMIs, and 6.1 liter HEMIs. If your stock radiator is worn out and you want a replacement that keeps the car cooler without getting into some full race-only setups, this is a really nice option. It gives you that direct replacement convenience while also stepping into a lighter aluminum design, so it's definitely worth considering. This radiator is built to restore the cooling performance while also giving you a little upgrade over the traditional stock style setup. The big feature here is going to be the 6061 aluminum construction, because that helps it stay lighter than copper assemblies while also improving heat dissipation for daily driving. That makes it a smart option for somebody replacing a failing radiator but still wanting a little extra convenience in traffic, hot weather, and aggressive driving. This is also going to bolt directly into the factory mounting points, so it is a pretty easy solution without having to do any custom work to get it installed. It has a clean, modern design, and that's a pretty nice touch too, because it helps the engine bay look a little fresher while still keeping the whole job straightforward and practical. When it comes to the construction on this, you are getting that T6061 aluminum construction that I mentioned in a clean OE style radiator design. That aluminum build is a big plus because it helps with the heat transfer while also keeping the radiator lighter than the old copper style assemblies. It's built as a direct replacement, so you get the benefit of the upgraded material without giving up that factory style fit. As far as the pricing goes on this, it's coming in right in the $100 price range. That's a really approachable price point in my opinion for a direct fit aluminum radiator, especially when you consider that you're getting a cooling component upgrade and not just a bare minimum stock style replacement. It's a strong value for somebody trying to fix the problem without overspending and turning it into an install headache. Now, when it comes to the install process on this, it's gonna get rated just a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. You can swap out the old one for this new one in just 1 hour of your time. Now let's see exactly how this install process goes with a quick video from one of our AmericanMuscle customers.
As for all your tools, a set of channel locks, maybe a smaller pair as well, will help you out. You'll need some clippers to get the zip tie off for the radiator fan wiring, because it is zip tied to the actual radiator mount. You'll need a replacement zip tie. You will want this fastener tool. It will help you out tremendously. If not, you can always do the job with a flathead screwdriver. You'll want a short extension, a long extension, a ratchet, and then we have a 7, 8, 10, and 13 millimeter socket. For our 2015 Dodge Charger radiator change, I just got done driving it because I was doing a coolant flush, and so I'm gonna go ahead and take off the bottom covers so I can put a fan under it, and that way it will cool off faster. Okay, so I have my safety jacks here, and I'm going to, as I kind of slide under this, I'm gonna put it back underneath. I like to turn this because it will actually fit into the slot on the frame here. But it's got a nice channel here that these particular ones fit right into. If you have other ones that cut, then you could kind of lift them up one. Well, it's not going to fit here, so if you have adjustable ones, then you could potentially do something like this. But you really want to get it as close as possible so that way there's less of a shock load if it were to begin falling. And then we'll go ahead and take off these 4 bolts. There should be 4, I only have 3, but there would be 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get this first cover off. So we're gonna do that first. So we're gonna start with what should be 4 10mm bolts to get this first surface cover off. Okay, so the next part is going to be pulling this second cover off, which is attached to your front bumper. This is where you're going to need your fastener tool for popping out these fasteners right here. You can see the line for where it's connected.
So for these, you can just work these right out. Sometimes you'll have to fiddle with them a little bit. And 3, there should be at least 3 on each side, just like that. And then there should be the same thing on the other side. And then this is where you will need your 4mm socket. You'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these bolts to do all along the front bumper here. So I will now show that. Now I'll go ahead and pop these fasteners out of the other wheel well. They should be identical to the side that I showed you just a moment ago. And there it is. Okay, so we're gonna attempt to lift the radiator fan up and out because it's gonna go onto the new radiator, but first we're gonna have to get all this other stuff out of the way. So all that you need for this is a flathead for some of these hose clamps. First thing, you're gonna have this engine cover. Literally, you just pull up on it. It pops right off. And then we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the airbox hose here from the intake. And then this is actually sitting on a clip. So this body here has your hose clamp right here for connecting to the main intake, but then it's got this rubber grommet type deal that just sits on a fastener as well. You just give it a little tug up and it'll pop right off of here, and then you'll be able to pop it right off of your intake, just like that. And then we'll be able to unplug it and get this all out of the way. Okay, so I got the flash on so we can kind of see this a little bit better. There's a bolt right underneath here that is an 8mm right there, and then same deal on the other side that kind of secures the top of this. So we're going to get those two first. And it looks like you'll have to take the extension off to actually get to this other bolt, because there's kind of some hoses here that are coming out from the radiator, and an extension will make it too long. Okay, now we gotta pull those out. You're gonna have to rock it away so that you can get this mounting bracket around your radiator hose, and then you can rock it back and come up nice and easy and make sure you're not getting caught on anything. Don't want to rip anything out. Okay. Okay, once you've got everything cooled down to where it is not boiling hot and going to hurt you, then once you have the fan out as well, I'm gonna do this from the top to show you. Right there is a petcock valve on the side of your radiator. This here, you will turn this lefty-loosey and use that to drain as much fluid out as you can before you start taking apart everything else
If you take other hoses off first, you're going to have a lot of splashing.
Alright, well, I went just a little too far. Looks like you can just pull the petcock out all the way and it'll drain a whole lot faster. Okay, got that back in. There's a little bit left. And see what that does.
Another thing that you can do while this is draining still, your hose that comes from your thermostat, you can kind of wiggle it around to help get any extra little bits out. Because this will dump it into the top of the radiator here, which will then drain right out the bottom. And I kind of was able to shake it a little bit and get a siphon going, so that now it's pulling more coolant directly out of the block and not just the radiator anymore. And even if it stops going, something that would be a good idea is to kind of squeeze this and press down on it a couple more times, because you'll be able to get a siphon going again to help it completely drain the block, so that whenever you pull these hoses from the radiator, you don't immediately get a huge mess. And whenever you do this, you'll be able to hear some noises in the reservoir. Doesn't sound as watery now, because it looks like we've gotten most of it out now. But yeah, pressing along that, you're able to kind of start another siphon, and I got it going again. And you want to hear almost none of that gurgling in the reservoir when you do press this, because that'll be a good sign, a good indicator to help you know that you've got most of it out. Now we're going to start with this top radiator hose. So you just got a basic clip that you need to press together, and I actually like these, because what you can do is if you compress them enough, they will lock open, and then they're a lot easier to work with. Otherwise, I just got a hold of them, so I'm going to walk it up. See if I can compress it all the way, because then it'll be a lot easier to mess with later. So now we can lock this off. Okay. Yeah, just a little drip. So now we can tuck that up out of the way. Alright. And before I go any further, I'm going to verify that these hose connections are going to be the same on the new one, because I don't want to pull it out and then have to just put it all back in anyways in order to hoses. Hose on the radiator and disconnect it from the block instead. And then we'll just transfer it over when it's in a position that's a little more manageable. Try and compress this. We'll lock it down. Okay, go walk down. And since we're doing it the other way. Alright. Just one little splashy, as expected. Okay, so I'm fairly certain that the other mounting bolts for the radiator are going to be on the front side. So we're going to start pulling covers and see where that gets us. Get our fastener tool.
Once again, you can just use a flathead screwdriver if you don't have one of these, but if you do have one of these, they are going to be your best friend here. Okay, so I know you're not really supposed to do it like this, but there's not really any other way that I can actually show you how to get to this. So on the AC condenser, there's going to be a bolt right there, and that is attaching your radiator on the bottom. So you're going to use a I believe it's an 8mm socket to pull that bolt. You're going to need an extension on that side, and then the same deal over here, but there's not a bunch of crap in the way. So we're going to go ahead and get these taken off, and then it will either let the radiator swing out and then be pulled up, or we'll end up having to drop this bracket. I'm not sure yet, so we're going to find out. So the next thing we're going to try is we've got 2 big bolts on each end of our mount here. We're going to drop these 2. We're going to drop these other 2 are hidden behind this shroud here. So we're going to drop those and see if we can bring this whole assembly down. And then as you're bringing this down, you want to make sure that you're not pulling out any of the lines that go to your AC condenser, or you'll have a bad day. Look at what we're doing. Okay, so we're not catching anything over there. Cover should just peel off. Put that way over. Okay, yep. So now that we've got it shifted over, we can see there is one more little bolt in between the 2 AC condenser lines there. That right there is the final piece mating the radiator to the condenser. So I can pop that out now and we'll have them separated. Should be the last thing that was mating these 2 together. Peel that away from the condenser, nice and easy. Don't rush anything. You will absolutely tear up everything that you can imagine. And then other things that you didn't imagine. hose that we couldn't get earlier. Okay. Now we'll just call in the condenser. And you gotta be patient here, otherwise you're gonna ram your radiator mounts right through your AC condenser. And if it's anything like mine that already needs replaced, that could be a death sentence for it. Looks like we're getting just a little bit of coolant out of it still. Or water. Make sure we're not caught on the condenser. Okay. This hose is really biting us. That would just be easier to take off now instead of before, so we can really get to it. But now we got it. There we go. Okay. All right, now let's get everything moved over. So that can stay. Need the hose, need the grommet. Tabs that are punched through on this for the extra guarding on this. So the OEM one has these tabs here for that extra shrouding stuff to clip onto. The new one does not have that, so I guess we will not be using any of that shrouding. So before I place our new one back in there, I'm going to lift up the condenser and start the mounting bracket back in to kind of support it. Get that on the top so we can work with it a little bit better. Should be able to lock it. I sit that on the reservoir so we don't lose it and don't get any junk in there. Okay, so we got the condenser hoses in the way, but those can be shifted over. We're gonna have to turn this a little bit because the petcock hose is running under the frame. Looks like we got it where we want it, so I'm gonna sit it all the way down so it doesn't have anything to fall on. And these are not all the same, so pay attention when you're putting them back in. One of these goes into a bracket and the other three go through a bracket and into the plastic, so they're not all the same. What I'm gonna do to help myself is now I got this back up, I'm gonna scoot over the jack that I had under the condenser to hold this up. You gotta shift it back so you can get the tool onto the front of it here. And this is another one of your coarse thread ones because it's going through the bracket and into plastic. And then your fine thread one goes into the side of the AC condenser here where these two lines are coming in at the top. Gentle. Alright. No cross thread. Now that we've got the fine thread one locked in where it needs to be, we can go around and tighten all the coarse thread ones that are supposed to bite into plastic. And don't it's just going into plastic, so don't go crazy or you're gonna destroy it. Now, for the bottom of this, we'll just have to lift it, bring it forward. We'll just have to lift it, bring it forward. And then there's plastic air guides on the bottom of this. You got to make sure that those are to the inside of all the brackets and not on the outside. Don't force anything, that's how you break it. Okay. Okay, so I got our rubber grommets lined up at the bottom. Since that side is all blocked by a shroud, it'd probably be wise to do this side first so that I'm not relying entirely on the jack. Alright, there's one, and I'm not going tight yet. There's two. Back it out just a little. Oh, nope. There's our brand new radiator. Now we're gonna start putting all the hoses and stuff back on it. Clips on the back. 3 long plastic screws, there we go. It's the same size. That's pretty cool. So these will sit on the bottom of the radiator, and then you stand it up, and then there's 2 bolts on top. Make sure the plug is still out of the way. Sure is. And you'll know it's correct because the plug will be top passenger side. Pull this top cap off. Get to it easy. Okay. This is probably too big. Almost. We're gonna go to the ratchet so we don't upset the neighbors. Plug back in. I'm going to zip tie it back to the fan where it was. When you put the hose on. Got it open enough where it locked. Okay. So we got compressed enough to where it locked open, and now we can just shift it up and release it. Just like that. Now get the top hose. Just like so. This is locked open, so we can just put it right where it needs to be. My rubber grommet just tore, so I'm gonna have to order a new one. In the meantime, it'll sit right where it needs to sit.
Okay, so my phone died while I was finishing putting this back together, but the rubber grommet actually broke for this, so I will have to order a new one. And in the meantime, this will just sit a little bit lower than it usually does, but the engine cover just pops on, so it's all happy. Our hoses are tightened for our intake, and all that will need to happen now is the long cover on the bottom gets put back on. You'll lift it up, do 6 bolts along the bumper and 3 fasteners in each wheel well, followed by the primary service cover, which is the smaller one, which is the 4 bolts behind it that will kind of support it in place.
So before you put your bottom covers back on, you will see up in here there are air guides leading to your AC condenser, and the radiator is behind. This is my AC condenser that's smashed. The new radiator is right here behind it. So basically, before you put your covers back on, you'll see there's kind of a pin here on the bottom of your air guides that you're going to want to bend up and line up into your frame here. This is to make sure they don't run away one way or another, and to help direct your air, your front intake here into your AC condenser and then your radiator. Same deal on the other side. We're going to get that landed and secure, and it's all happy. And now we will be able to install our front. Okay, so if you can get another pair of hands, that's usually quite helpful for what we're about to do, but there's nobody else here right now, so we're gonna do this the way that I've done it before. So we're gonna get it laid out about where it goes. I know there's 2 holes here that will fasten into the bottom here. There's hooks on the bottom of the bumper that will go into these slots. First thing I'm going to get ready is the push pins, or little top rivets here, whatever you want to call them. These guys. We'll need 3 on each end where they fasten into the wheel well. I have my fastener tool just in case any of these still need separated, which those all look okay. And then the handle's great for kind of tapping them in. So I will usually hold up one end with my hand and hold up the other end with my knee and kind of guide these into where they need to go. This very front lip goes above the bottom edge of the bumper here. So you want to make sure that you get that all the way across, but also don't go too high, otherwise you'll miss your insertion points here. So that end looks good. This end is fighting a little bit, so I'm going to have to bring it back and up and then forward. Okay, I'm going to support it with my knee so it doesn't fall out while we do this. Just shift it my way a little bit. Looks like it's coming along nice. Okay. Now we can go on the wheel well here. Start checking our holes. You may have to wrestle it around just a little bit to get it lined up just right. We got one started. Rain, so now it's dripping all over my face. Okay. Looks like we're all lined up across, so we'll go ahead and put the rest of these in. Get them lined up. You may have to lift it. Yep. And then the third one's nice and ready for us. Then we'll get it popped in on the other side. Make sure you're holding it up the whole time so it doesn't run away. Get our other fasteners here. The main thing is taking your time on those pop rivets, because if you just push on the head and it's not lined up, then it will snap together and then the end will become too big to fit through the hole. So just take your time and get it landed right before you try to press it through. So then we have our 6 bolts here, which will go along the front edge here. That's going to be your 4mm socket. And same deal with this, take your time, make sure that they are lined up with the holes. Don't just send it. And if you have an impact like I'm using, make sure you got it turned down so that you don't just blow it apart. And this will still get it plenty secure. You could probably still use 2. I think that's what I used whenever I did this before. Cool. Double check, make sure that everything stayed lined up. Make sure we're not loose anywhere. Everything all looks like it's still together. Alright. Now we can go to our 10mm socket, and you should have 4 of these longer bolts with the big washer, and that's going to be for our smaller service cover in the back. And then whenever you're putting this back in, this is the front end, and you need to put it above this cover that we just put in. There are holes at the back of this cover that you need to line up the holes that are on the front of this cover while it is above, because they basically share that bolt to secure them. Also, don't put your face directly below these whenever you're bolting them in, because there's a good chance some rust will fall out. That's not a good time when you get it in your eye. And there it is. I only have 3 bolts. If I had a 4th, it would go right here.
Very last thing here. Once you have your car, if you use ramps like I do, off of it, you want to have it on a level surface here and fill it up to the fill line. It should be cold. A lot of them, you'll have an indicator on the side there that will show a fill line on your reservoir. You'll want to fill it up, run the car, run the heater, just run it at full blast and drive it around for a little bit, let everything circulate, and then park it, let it cool down, and see where your reservoir is at, because they usually have a fill line that is supposed to be filled up when it is cool versus when the system is under pressure. And that does two things for you. The first thing is that it will circulate everything throughout, and if you didn't put anything back together tightly, it may leak, so you can hopefully spot that early on rather than lose coolant slowly over time and face problems later. Second thing is, once it's all circulated and cooled back down, it should settle where the correct like fill level is. Basically, it will then allow you to see if you need to add some or drain some away. And if you need to drain some away, then you know it's no big deal, because there's a petcock on the bottom of the radiator that you can use to drain some of it out. You'll just have to take the two covers back off the bottom.
That's going to wrap up our review and install of the OE Style Aluminum Radiator for the 2009 to 2017 Chargers with the V6, the 5.7 liter HEMI, and the 6.1 liter HEMI. And for all things Charger, keep it right here at American Muscle.